In the year 1324, a caravan began its journey across the vast Sahara, a caravan unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was not an army, it was not a migration. It was a statement, a moving empire of gold, faith, and power. At its heart stood one man, Mansa Musa, Emperor of Mali, the richest human being ever recorded in history. But this was not a man seeking more gold. This was a king answering to something greater, a call of faith that would become a legend. For Muslims across the world, the pilgrimage to Mecca, the Hajj, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a sacred journey every believer must take if able. For Mansa Musa, it was not only a spiritual obligation, it was an opportunity to show the glory of Mali to the world. But what began as a journey of devotion soon turned into a display of such unimaginable wealth that it would ripple through economies and echo through centuries. To prepare for his pilgrimage, Musa gathered an entourage that defied reason. 60,000 men, soldiers, officials, and attendants accompanied him. 12,000 slaves, each carrying gold bars on their backs. 80 camels, each loaded with hundreds of pounds of gold dust. Imagine a river of gold flowing through the desert mile after mile, stretching as far as the eye could see. For every grain of sand that shimmered beneath the sun, it seemed Musa had brought another grain of gold. Historians would later call it the most lavish journey in human history, and they would not be exaggerating. The Mali Empire, under Musa's reign, controlled nearly half of the world's known gold supply. But the emperor's true power was not just in what he owned, it was in what he understood. He knew that wealth meant nothing unless it could be seen, felt, and remembered. So as he and his golden caravan crossed the Sahara from Timbuktu to Gao to Gaza and onward to Egypt, each step was a message to the world. This is Africa. This is power. This is Mali. By the time Musa reached the borders of Egypt, word of his arrival had already spread like wildfire. And in Cairo, the greatest city of the Islamic world, the streets began to fill with whispers, "The King of Gold is coming." When Mansa Musa and his caravan finally reached Cairo, Egypt's golden city, the world held its breath. No one, not even the great Sultan al-Nasir Muhammad, had ever seen wealth like this. Cairo at the time was the beating heart of the Islamic world, a center of trade, scholarship, and faith. But even here, in this city of splendor, the arrival of Musa's entourage caused shock and awe. They came dressed in fine silks and embroidered robes, carrying staffs plated in gold. Their camels wore harnesses studded with jewels, and their servants carried gold dust that sparkled in the desert sun. For days, Cairo stood still. Markets overflowed with coins. Gold was traded so freely that its value began to tremble. Musa gave away fortunes to the poor, donated to mosques, and gifted treasures to scholars, poets, and merchants. To some, it was generosity. To others, it was chaos. Historians tell us that Mansa Musa distributed so much gold in Cairo that he crashed the economy. The sudden flood of wealth devalued the metal, prices of goods skyrocketed, merchants panicked, and Egypt's dinar lost nearly 1/3 of its value. For more than a decade, Cairo's economy struggled to recover from the aftershock of a single man's generosity. This was not a deliberate act of destruction. Mansa Musa had not come to harm. He had come to give, to show the power of charity, faith, and abundance. But what he revealed was something deeper, that wealth, uncontrolled, could shape or shatter entire civilizations. As gold poured through Cairo's veins, a legend was born. They called him the King of Gold. Stories spread across North Africa and the Middle East, each one larger than life. Some claimed his camels carried mountains of gold. Others said the streets of Cairo turned golden beneath his feet. Whether true or myth, one fact remains certain. No ruler before or after Mansa Musa had ever been so rich or so generous that the world's economy bent under his touch. But Musa's journey was far from over. Beyond Cairo lay the holy city Mecca, his ultimate destination. And on that sacred path, the Emperor of Mali would find something far more valuable than gold, a new vision of faith, wisdom, and legacy. When he returned home, he would no longer be just a man of gold, he would become a man of destiny. After his pilgrimage to Mecca, Mansa Musa began the long journey home, a journey that would transform not only his empire, but the very story of Africa itself. The emperor returned to Mali with more than gold. He brought with him architects, scholars, and visionaries, men inspired by the cities of Arabia and the splendor of Mecca. Their task was simple: yet monumental, to turn Mali into a beacon of knowledge, culture, and faith. In the years that followed, Mansa Musa poured his wealth into cities. He commissioned mosques of stone and marble, and founded centers of learning that would draw thinkers from across the continent. And at the heart of this cultural rebirth stood one city, Timbuktu. Once a small trading outpost, Timbuktu rose under Musa's vision into a world-renowned hub of scholarship. The crown jewel of this renaissance was the University of Sankore, a center of learning rivaling any in the medieval world. It housed over 400,000 manuscripts, covering astronomy, law, medicine, and philosophy knowledge that would outlive the empire itself. In this, Mansa Musa proved that true wealth was never just measured in gold. It was measured in knowledge, in legacy, in the power to enlighten generations yet unborn. His empire thrived on diversity, not only gold and salt, but wisdom, trade, and innovation. And though centuries have passed, the echoes of his vision remain carved into the sands of Mali and written into the pages of history. But even the brightest empires cannot escape the passage of time. After Musa's death, the Mali Empire would begin to fracture, weakened by succession struggles and the rise of rival kingdoms. Yet his legacy, the legacy of a king who turned faith into empire, refused to fade. Even today, historians, economists, and dreamers look back at Mansa Musa not merely as a rich man, but as a symbol, the embodiment of how power, when guided by purpose, can build more than monuments. It can build civilizations. From the deserts of Mali to the markets of Cairo, from the mosques of Timbuktu to the maps of Europe, his story traveled farther than his caravan ever could. And centuries later, his name still stands as the answer to one question: who was the richest man to ever walk the earth? But the gold was only the beginning. Next time on Beyond the Timeline, the story of how empires rise and how even the greatest can fall.